All right, let's have a conversation. This episode 7, is about dating in 2023. Today or not today, I have two guests that are joining me today. My older sister, Cheryl Davis, and Mr. Reginald. Is your last name McGarr?
It is.
Welcome. Thank y'all for joining me today. Let's have this dating discussion. So I'm gonna start right off. I am dating and I'm gonna continue to date. I haven't had much luck with dating, but I choose to continue to date in 2023 and moving forward. There are some challenges, but I'm praying and dating. Hopefully I'll find that right person. So ladies first, Cheryl, what's your dating situation right now?
Um, I think I'm kind of like you. I'm dating, but I don't think I pursue it too much. And what you finna say? I see your mouth going.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm listening.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, I'm dating, and I'm dating with a purpose. Trying to, trying to, be optimistic about it at times, but then it's a lot of times it's just so frustrating, you know. And then you get tired of it. Then I quit at times because I don't mind being by myself. I think that when we were growing up and we didn't have our father around, we really didn't miss it because we never really had it. And so I think that's kind of how I am. I've never been married. Um, I don't think I had too many successful relationships. So at this point, it's like I really don't miss it. So I really don't long for it. And it's dating is just, it's just, I really don't like it. Tell you the truth. I'm just going to be honest. I don't like dating.
I guess what is the main factor of trying to get to know someone? What is
Yes.
your main? Yeah.
Yeah, that part of getting to know someone when you finally think that, oh, I finally found someone and it's gonna work, and then you find out they're lying to you, or being deceptive, or you kind of get, you would probably say it's a woman's intuition. Like you just kind of feel something ain't right, or it's
The
just too
Holy
good to be
Spirit.
true. That too. Holy Spirit activate. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've given up, but I do kind of get depressed about it at times and just take a vacation from it.
Reginald, are you dating?
Yeah.
You having success dating or
Well, depends on what you call success, but I definitely believe you got to date with a purpose and you got to have goals like with anything, You got to
mm-hmm.
have certain expectations. Um, you don't always meet those expectations, but that don't make you give up, You know, just because we work every day and we don't get some of the things that we plan on doing and obtaining and attaining, that don't mean we stop going to work, right?
It's true.
Exactly.
So
That's real. Yeah.
we still go to work because guess what?
Got bills
That's
to
what
pay.
that's what's sustaining us. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's one way of looking at it.
When was the last date you went on?
Last date I went on it's been a couple of months ago.
And have you ever been married?
Oh yes. I've been married before, yes.
Once, twice?
Twice to the same woman.
Okay, and divorced now?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Over 20 years I've been divorced.
Oh, okay. So how is that navigating from divorce to dating? Like how big of a break, long of a break did you take from being divorced to
Oh, you
dating
talking about
again?
divorce to dating again? I mean, it wasn't a hard transition for me, but simply because I think it's easier for men than it is for women, but I guess it depends on the person too. Um, but I gotta admit though, when I first got a divorce, I wasn't dating with a purpose. Was not dating with a purpose. I wasn't dating to get remarried, and that's just being honest. I'm just being honest.
Okay. Thank you for your honesty. So when you said women he'll basically a man will start dating quicker than a woman. Why do you feel that
It's
after
well,
divorce?
in my case, I think, and not. I'm just in general. I'm gonna speak in general, not going to necessarily speak specifically. I think with men, we take things like that as rejection, and we have to understand, and we have to go out there and see. Well, if if that is rejection, then what is acceptance? And then you find out what acceptance is, and rejection don't seem as it doesn't seem as bad. And that's the only reason why I've never been a woman, so I'm just going on what I've heard and some of the things I've experienced. But um, men take things like that as a rejection. So we got to prove that, hey, it ain't anything wrong with me. So
I hear that, like I've heard men say, men can't be alone like a woman can. You hear a lot of women, you know, just being single for a long time. But I
mhm.
hear a lot of people say, well, men, they can't be alone for a long period of time like women can. You agree with that statement?
It depends on the woman. It depends on the woman.
How y'all feel about dating more than one person at a time?
I don't see. Well, me personally, I don't. If you're just dating and you're not in a relationship, you know, hey, the sky's the limit. If you can run that race, but that's a hard race to run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I agree with that too. I don't see anything wrong with it, especially if you being honest with the person, because you don't want them. A lot of times when they think, you go out with them, they think they're the only one, and not everybody think that. But some people, it all depends on the person, and you definitely don't want to hurt feelings. But dating means just that. Dating, trying to figure things out, trying to see what's what, trying to get to know the person, because you don't want to just jump into relationship, just dating, jump relationship. After one date, you don't know who that person is, and you don't know how well they're gonna take your family. You don't know how they're gonna take you, your different attitude. I believe you really need to know a person in order to say, oh, we're in a relationship. But and the thing with that too, is women, we need to hear that, not just an assumption of it, you know? Like if we're in a relationship, it needs to be said. But then I could quickly come back and say, no, I ain't in no relationship. I don't know who you in a relationship with.
Yeah, I agree. We do like to hear that. We'd like to hear, you know,
I need to
where we
answer a phone call
stand.
real quick, if you guys don't mind.
That's okay. Yes.
Okay.
We can talk, but you can continue.
Yeah, dating is collecting data.
Oh yeah,
So you
yeah. I
collecting
do.
data. I used to didn't think it was okay to date. I felt like that was too much trying to keep up with different people. Dating multiple people or talking to multiple people, because then you get confused of who you told is, who you just talked to, and you know, called somebody else another person's name. But then I had to mature and realize, oh, you just talking really and collecting data. You're
Right,
not in a relationship.
right. Yes, and it shouldn't be assumed that either. But I get that you could get confused, but you can get confused with anything else. Like even when you're at work, like that's what I work in: data, pulling data together. You know, it could quickly, you know, become too much, but it all depends on the person and what they're trying to do with the data. Like I'm not gonna say date 100 people because that's just ridiculous. But you know, I don't think that, you know, especially for a first date, to say, "Oh, I'm just dating you and that's it." You know.
What are some of your non-negotiables? I know mine are I can't stand a liar. They have to value me, respect me, and communication. Like, have to be consistent.
Yeah.
And then, of course, well, number one is they have to be love God, believe in Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
and be honoring God, not just believing in Him. They have to show it through their life that they're living a life, you know, Christ-like.
Right. I could say that's a non-negotiable too, because I can't envision myself with somebody that doesn't honor God or doesn't believe in God. Like I work with, you know, individuals, and although they're nice, but to hear out their mouth that they don't believe in God, it kind of makes me cringe. Because how you think you got here today, you know? So it's you know, it's quite disturbing that people can go around even thinking that, but I can't, you know, I don't think I'd be able to deal with that, you know, in a relationship, that I got to constantly have this conversation on why do you not believe in God, and, you know, everyday conversation like that. I don't think I could do that, but you definitely have to believe in God. I know I love my family. I love my kids. They gotta love their kids. And to me, you know, yeah, you know, you might have some friction every now and then, but to not value them, especially when I didn't have my father around, I don't think I could deal with a father not loving his kids, not having them in their life. I also can't just be sitting around the house doing nothing. That is definitely that's a definite no. Like I don't even think I can go to work knowing somebody in my house doing nothing. Like, but if they retired, I still be aspiring to do something, have a vision, have a goal. Even when you retire, you can still do things, you know.
Yeah. Projects around the house and have dinner ready when I get home.
Yes. I definitely don't like to repeat myself either. Like
I
saying
think
things over and over. I don't like that either. That's a definite no.
I think in any phase of life, you need to be busy, have
Yeah.
something to do. have some kind of hobby or something to do, because
Exactly.
idle mind is the devil's workshop. So
I was just thinking that. I was like, out of mind. I was just thinking the same. Reginald, what's some of your non-negotiables? What couldn't you deal with a significant other woman?
That's hard. Because I guess I'm pretty much, honesty is a big key, and then I just need somebody who can understand and have those virtues to, that you can go across the board with, being trustworthy. It's just, I mean, I don't really have, I guess I can't really say I don't have any non-negotiables. I just want somebody who is centered, and has some kind of something centered in their life where they can go to and, just be centered, and not go off the rails so fast,
Yeah.
What exactly is going off the rails to you?
Going off the rails is pretty much just, they don't have, what can I say? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, back to what I was saying. You just you need some center. You need something that centers you in life, whether it be God,
established. You mean somebody established, knows what they want?
Right.
It sounds like your love language is affirmations, words of affirmation. Just by you saying that, is that what love languages are?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is that correct? Do you like words of affirmation?
Yeah, I mean they work, but actions always speak louder than words. So,
So you like words of affirmations and acts of service?
Yes.
What would be your love language, Cheryl?
I think acts of service would probably be my love language, because people can say a lot of words, but they really don't mean anything without any action behind it. So
yeah, mine is quality time and a physical touch. So sometimes we expect people to just be psychics when we get in date or get in relationships, and we expect them to just, okay, you should know my love language, you should know this. Yeah. But that's important with communication. So if you know your love language is acts of service, you got to let them know you are wanting help to lighten your load. So you have to communicate that with them. You can't just expect that person to know your, oh, her love language is acts of service. Let me do stuff around the house. Let me do things for her. Make sure her bubble bath is running when she get home. If I know my love language is physical touch, of course I'm gonna, kind of touch on them and let them know I want to hold hands, so they can get that, clue that, okay, she likes to be, held and touched. And
you don't think to an extent everybody like that? Like, of course you like a hug every now and then. It kind of exchanges the energy, like if you tired or you feeling certain type of way. I think that's an inner thing, but not the thing with me is not all the time. Don't touch me all the time. That's too much. It's too much.
See, but I'm kind of like the opposite. I wouldn't say
I know.
Clingy, but
yeah, I know.
I wouldn't say I'm clingy, but I just know if I'm with my significant other, I want to be on them and, have that intimacy. Just intimacy, not sex per se, but just that intimacy and just being next to each other.
It's a balance.
Yeah.
If the balance is off, then you just got to have a balance with everything. When it comes to another person, it's got to be, like life. Whenever your life is out of balance, what do? You don't have that center. I was just talking about being centered on something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have that center to create the balance. What you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. That's true. It also comes to communication too. So
yeah,
you can't be centered without the communication.
True.
But when you say center, it makes me think about how when some people in a relationship, one person is given more than the other, and you're not centered. If you feel like you're always pouring into that person's cup and they're not pouring into your cup, that centering
Off
is not
balance.
going to be there.
Off
Yeah.
balance.
So when you say that, that just came to my mind. That we have to know that both parties, both people have to be willing to give and contribute. Yeah.
A lot of times that's not gonna work if one person is giving. I know me. If I'm only one that's giving, I'm gonna give what you giving me, and we definitely not gonna be centered, and it's not gonna work.
Yeah, I've heard some relationship coaches say match their energy.
Yes,
like
I match it all the time.
But
how you feel about that, Reginald? Matching energy.
I believe you can do that, but if you expect it all the time, you're gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. You can't be a selfish giver. Like,
no,
I'm the only one
selfish,
that's giving. No, I don't see it as when I match the energy, I'm definitely not going to be the one that's not giving already. I don't always I want it to be just like you said, centered. That's what centered means, and balance.
When you say match, I don't think matching is a good word, because I think you ought to be true to who you are and give what you think is best, as opposed to matching somebody's. I don't. I'm not always gonna match somebody else's energy, and I think that I should be doing things to a degree of that I know I should be doing, and then once I'm doing that, I'm all right. But matching, that's limit. There's limits on matching. I think it is. So, but
some people think it's game playing, like you playing games. If you feel like that person is not giving you what you need, then y'all need to have that communication. Don't play these games by matching energy.
Right.
Okay, you're not giving me what I need. Be blessed. I'm gone unless I can see some change in behavior.
That's the thing. You don't match energy from the beginning. Like, you getting to know the person, of course some gonna give more than the other. But once you declared we in a relationship and we've had these conversations, you start matching energy, because now you're tired. And you pretty much, once you start matching energy anyways, it's pretty much over. I'm pretty much done then. Because I've already had, I'm just saying, like, I've already had this conversation. So when I start matching, that means I've took a wrong turn somewhere, and I ain't coming back on first. Yeah,
but it depends on what's the energy. So if the energy is good and you're matching energy, that's good. But if they're not pouring into you like you're pouring into them, okay, match the energy. I'm gonna pull back and see how they react. And that's another thing I've done when I was in a relationship. I would pull back and see if, okay, let me see how they start moving now that I pulled back. But then if you don't see them, you take 2 steps back and then they take 2 steps back too, Oh, that's
Yeah, it's
they don't
over.
get it. Like
I think you should always give your best.
Yeah.
I
Don't
agree.
pull back, because then when you pull back, then that leaves room. There's always room for error anyway. But when you pull back, that's gonna you know give more room for error. To me, do your best, and then that way, if you give your all, you don't have any regrets. You don't have any. I mean, that's just the way I do it. But you know, but
I don't pull back right away. I'll give my all, and then if I see that okay, they're not getting the point here, it's like I'll pull back and then I'll go back up and I'll see and I'll watch and I'll observe. But if I still don't see a change, I'm pulling back like and out.
You going off the data.
go on, we ain't programming no computers, man. We trying to date.
And that's what dating is. Collecting
Living
data.
in data.
Yes. You didn't hear
So
that part.
when
What?
was your
Say it
last?
again.
I said you didn't hear that part, did you?
Say it again.
Dating is collecting data.
Yeah, that's life. Life is collecting data.
Yeah.
Every day you should be learning something new, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
When was your last relationship? Your last like relationship, not something that you thought was serious.
What do you mean by relationship?
Like me, I've been dating,
Okay.
talking to people, but my last like true relationship I could say was 2020, because we both had that understanding that we was in a relationship.
Yeah.
So that's what even though after that relationship failed, I waited a few months before I start talking to anybody else, but I haven't been in a serious relationship since 2020.
I don't know. I can't even tell you when my last relationship was, because the last that I thought I was in a relationship, I don't think he knew he was in a relationship. So
Did y'all have an understanding that, so y'all didn't have the understanding that y'all was together, like we together?
Yeah. That was my understanding. Because if you living with me, we're together. So, but the premise of it, of the arrival, was a lie, and everything was based on a lie. So I just don't feel like it was really a relationship.
So, but when was that? That
2019, 2018, 2019.
okay.
Yeah.
Reginald, when was your last relationship?
I mean, let's see.
So how long you been divorced now? 20 years?
Since 2002.
Okay. So when was your last relationship?
uh, let's see. Probably 2019. And I think at the time I was going through some things, because both my parents were sick. Both of them were like ill, and the relationship didn't make it through that. So
Because you couldn't give the time that that person wanted.
no, it wasn't that. It was just, I mean, I had, I had the balance, but I guess the, there was some dishonesty there, and then there was kind of like something came up where I was asked to I don't know, finance some. I was asked to give some money, and I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, my both my parents are terminally ill. I mean, does that make sense to you for me to, you know, both my parents are dying, and you want me to give you some money? Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
balance.
No, it don't make
No.
no sense. That ain't so that was pretty much the thing that just messed everything up. So, I just, and that's what I say about understanding. You know, if if you can't understand me being in that position, then we definitely
Yeah.
don't have no ground to walk on together anyway.
Yeah, that's true. For real. Wow. Reginald, what are your thoughts on independent women?
I
Do
I
you,
mean, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with with a woman being independent.
what
Um,
about if the woman was the breadwinner?
I don't have any problems with that. I mean, of course, I've had relationships where if I well, have I ever been in a relationship like that?
You asking?
Well, no, I'm just thinking. Sometimes, if a woman there's an element there where if a woman makes more money than you, she uses it as a tool to as some type of control. And you know, I don't mind if a woman makes more money than me. I don't have a problem with that. But we gotta, we both gonna contribute. You know, to
So why do
wherever
you
we're
say they
going,
use it as a
or
control?
wherever we're going. But to use that and beat me over the head with it, we ain't got nothing. We
Yeah.
can't. We ain't there again. We don't have no ground to walk on when we do stuff like that. Because I never do that. I never use that. Oh, I make more money than you. I'd never bring that up. What does that got to do with anything? To me, the only thing that matters when you're in a relationship with somebody is what you build together, not what you had before you got in a relationship. Because
Absolutely.
what you have before the relationship is is not even critical. What you do in the relationship is what's critical, and what's the things that you build on. So that's my consensus.
Sure, you ever was in a relationship with someone that had a problem with if they didn't make more than you or if they wasn't a breadwinner? You ever experienced that issue?
Um, I don't think so, but I don't. When it's the other way around, I think it's expected that the man makes more. So they really can't use that over us because it's almost like, hey, I'm the man. I make more money than you, and I look at you like, and you're supposed to.
Yeah.
So
That's not true. I don't think that's not true.
no, I'm
Well,
just
that's
saying,
the
like, I'm
society
not
norm.
saying right. It's just the norm for that to happen. So it's really not gonna affect a woman if a man says, hey, I make more money than you, we're gonna be like, okay.
Because
But
it's like every woman would like a man that is the breadwinner and provider. Because that's what I feel like God intended that. Like the man, he made man first. Adam came first. And I feel like every woman, even though like me, I'm an independent woman, single, I still want that companionship. Yes, I ain't gonna say I don't need a man. I want a man. I want that companionship. I want to help be a helpmeet to someone else.
right.
So it wouldn't be an issue for me if they made less than me or more than me. But I think every woman does want a man to take care of her. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Like we desire that.
It's not
But
just
to me,
taking care of
money,
it, just make
but
us
to me,
secure
just
too.
providing is not taking care of you.
Right. I guess what, like Cheryl said,
You
that's
have,
security. We
remember
want
we talking about
security.
that balance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Providing to me is more than just coming home with a stack of thousands or hundreds or whatever.
Yeah.
Man,
No, it ain't
you
all
can't.
about the money.
Yeah.
It,
That money will cause more problems in a relationship than it will,
Yeah.
you know.
I agree.
yeah, I agree
A
too.
stack of hundreds every. If I came home with a stack of hundreds every day and I ain't paying you no attention and ain't being, I'm not being honest. That's not gonna work. How long is that gonna last?
Yep.
We get blinded by, oh, he got it going on. Well, and then too, what are you doing? What are you both doing together? That's the reason why I go back to what are we doing together? Because if we're not doing it together, if we're not helping each other, if I ain't reminding you to do things and you're not reminding me to do this or do that, or if we're not having that, if we're not bringing it together like it's supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
we in bad shape.
Well, I ain't saying I'm a gold digger, but I'm just saying, because me, I know myself. I'm a giver. Of course, that special person that God has for me, I want it to be us working together, have that balance. And like Cheryl said, we want security, safety. And yeah, I agree. It ain't all about the money, but money is important. We need money to live.
We do. And there again, there go back to balance. I understand the importance of being financially secure. I understand it. I'm not downgrading that in any shape or any
Mm-hmm.
way. But you know, I don't think our relationship should be based on just finances. We got to
No.
have more than that.
Of course.
Like I tell people all the time, love don't come by itself. Love come with some other stuff, some understanding, some patience, some trust, some. I mean, you can bring it all up in there. It. You know,
What's love got to do with
willingness. You got to have all of that. Love don't come by itself. Love has some companions.
it? Amen.
Huh?
Would you marry again?
Huh?
Would you marry again?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
Sure, I know you said at the beginning you desire marriage, correct?
Yeah, I desire marriage. I just don't think I'm actively seeking it. Like I told you, I take vacations at times because it can be a little bit. It
We
can be
all
a
do.
yeah. I think it can be a bit much. I'm not saying that I don't want it, but if it comes knocking and it's genuine, my door is open.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, me too. Wow. So, Reginald, as a man, how long would you say it takes to know that that woman is the one? I know sometimes we don't like to put a time on it, but do
I
you
don't think
believe in
there's a
love
time.
at first sight?
I don't think there's a time. I think you discover that there are some potentials. There's potential, and then you bank on those potentials, and then maybe you discover more potentials. Maybe you discover some things that you are not fond of, but there has to be some sacrifice there. Otherwise, you're not gonna. If you don't sacrifice in a relationship, to me, if you don't sacrifice something, you're never gonna attain anything. So everything, it just talking about relationship to me just says, hey, are you willing to sacrifice or are you not willing to sacrifice? And to me, if you're not sacrificing, you're not willing to go down that road with somebody, or if you are willing to sacrifice, you are willing to go down. So I don't know if that's the answer to your question or not.
It was a long version. Long. That's good. But so I was just thinking, how do you feel about women pursuing men? If a woman, like if you were somewhere, grocery store, restaurant, and a woman saw you alone and they came up to you and said, you know, just starting having a conversation with you. How do you feel about that?
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I just know that there's different dynamics to anything, you know, on your job, there's different dynamics. You know, you might have to do one thing better than another, or you know, I just I just want to see those potentials at at a certain time, and then once I see that, you know, I can go from there. But I don't have a problem with 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 that. I mean, I've been approached before. I didn't have a problem with it. I just think you got to always have a willing, open mindset and a willing heart, and willing to see the goodness in people.
Because some people would say, like, oh, she thirsty, she desperate, she approaching that man. You know, that's what they label you as when you approach a man. But how would that man know that you're interested if somebody don't start the conversation?
It's
So
true.
I heard difference of opinions. You know, make yourself known, be present, but
Show
don't,
yourself to be friendly,
yeah, smile.
not walk around with attitude. You know,
Yeah.
I, I'm amazed by some people who just have attitudes. You can't even you can't even say hello to them without them having an attitude. And I'm like, okay, I'm just saying hello. I didn't proposition you or anything. I just said hello.
Yeah, when I think about that, I just say, well, they might have had a bad day, and I
Yeah.
just go on my way, just be kind, and just think, okay, they must have had a bad day. You never
True.
know what somebody's going through. Sure, would you pursue a man? Would you like start a conversation if you see somebody you like?
Only if it's Shaq.
Whatever.
I guess I'm old fashioned. I still think there are, I don't see nothing wrong with it, but just to be, you know, just to say, hey, I saw you sitting over there. You were running through my mind, coming up with lines. No, I just don't foresee myself doing that. Being the person that reach out, I don't see myself doing that.
So, how y'all feel about online dating? Y'all have
I think
online dating?
yeah, I don't have a problem with online dating. I think it's you see a lot of stars that's gone through, it's been successful. It's still an option.
So so which most dating sites they have it where you can like check this, let that person know that you're interested. Would you send a message first, Cheryl? Or would you wait? You check the check mark to let that person know you're interested. So would you wait on them to send the message saying, okay, hello? Or would you say hello first?
Yeah, I think that's been my tendency, is just to wait for them to
Respond
yeah.
to your interest.
Yeah.
What about you, Reginald? Would you respond to a woman that initiated the conversation online?
Yeah, of course. Because you don't, you don't know where you don't know where, what, and who, and where potential is. You just don't know. If we knew all that, then we wouldn't even be we wouldn't even be in this situation right now. So I just feel like you just got to be open and have that willing heart and be observative. Always be on your toes with any situation. I mean, if you see somebody and they send you a note, you respond back, and you know you don't ever know what you have in common. You never know. You never know where things lie. You just don't. I mean, I know I don't. And I don't try to predict stuff. I think a lot of times we try to predict so many things.
Yeah.
Just sit back and let it happen. Flow. Let it flow. That's what I say. Because
Yeah. Live in the present.
I believe if you rush things and you keep things, you have certain expectations and prejudices and whatever, you're gonna end up being disappointed some kind of way. And I don't like being disappointed. I just like, hey, let's just let it roll. Let's let it flow. Let it
I
happen.
know
What
when you say
happened
let it
natural.
flow, okay, you're gonna let it flow for 2 or 3 years. I
Yeah.
mean, come on. Especially at our age, it's like, okay, how long you gonna let it flow? Because when you get to, like, for my example, I'm talking to somebody for 6 months and I don't see any progression, I ain't finna continue to let it flow. Like, by 6 months, I'm 48 years old, and by 6 months, the person that I'm dating that's also in their 40s or 50s, I think they should know by then if they want to get serious, at least take it to the next level.
Yeah.
So when you
Well,
say go with the flow, like, I mean, what define go with the flow? Because I hear men say that a
because
lot. Let's just go with the flow.
there's a natural order to things, you know, and you know if there's a break in the natural. I mean, how can I say that? I don't feel like you got to rush things. I mean, I know I'm 54 years old. I'm not, I'm not in no hurry. When if it's right, it's gonna be right, and I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
around to experience it. But I find when I rush things, like if I write a letter out, if I go rushing through that letter, I'm not gonna get all my thoughts in like I want to. But if I take my time and just write it out at my pace and at my mental capacity, then I feel like I'm gonna cover the things that I need to cover in the letter that I'm writing to whoever to whoever or even to myself, but I just don't like rushing.
Yeah.
I've never done anything miraculous rushing. Or I've never exceeded expectations while I was rushing. I'm always doing things at the last minute. If I'm doing something at the last minute and I'm rushing, then I feel like I didn't have the type of flow that I wanted. And that's what I mean by that. What do you think?
I think you evading the question, really.
What do you feel, Cheryl? Like,
Why did I
do
feel
you
like
feel
why
about,
I
like,
feel like Cheryl was gonna pin me down on something? But no, I'm not evading the question. I just
Yeah,
feel like, huh?
I get what you're saying, but it's still, if you're trying to build a relationship with somebody, you okay, say you've been dating them, and after a certain length of time, you're eventually just gonna give up. Like, I just think that I'm not gonna say there's gonna be a time limit, 1, 2, 3 months, but eventually, sometimes that letter that you're writing it in your head about the person, and that letter has already exceeded 600 pages, I'm done. Because I'm done. Like, no. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't. I just
It's
don't
not
think
a
you got.
certain length of time. I'm not trying to get you to say, oh, after we've been dating 3 months, you should know. No, not after that. But there's some length of time that you're not willing to go. It's definitely gotta be. It
yeah,
is
and if
with
you're
me, like
spending
it.
time with each other, spending
Yeah.
every day with each other, you're doing things together,
Yep.
going on dates, like something will tell you, okay, I think this person is the one.
Mhm.
And you got to realize that, okay, will I be able to spend the rest of my life with this person? Like,
Right.
you think about that. It's not like you're putting a time limit on it, but if you're doing things together, doing married people things, things like that, it's like, okay, what are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
See
shouldn't have
that,
to come to
and
a
I don't have
point
a
where.
that's that. I don't have a problem with that. I just have a problem with, okay, we got to be here at, you know, by this time, and
Yeah.
you're gonna run into a block wall eventually. So I don't like hitting block walls with nothing. So
I agree with you.
other than a hammer.
Guess what? They're not gonna let you test drive that car for 6 months. No, you're gonna have to sign something already. So,
I believe in,
Yeah,
but that's part of the flow, though,
good
Cheryl.
analogy.
That's
huh?
part of the flow. If you got the natural flow of things,
Mm-hmm.
that you're gonna commit whenever you need to, but you're
Right.
not gonna commit to a time limit.
No, not a. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's that I'm not. Nobody's gonna pretty much say that, because what after 6 months you really haven't collected the data that you needed. So I'm just saying, like, you're gonna know that this person has some of the qualities that you desire.
Mm-hmm.
And these are not conversations that we all the time want to have, but they're necessary, because sometimes when that person feels like that it hasn't been answered in the time frame that they need, they're gone. Like, I'm not finna stick around and wait for you to write this book that you're writing, or write this letter that you're writing. I'm not gonna do that. I'm
I'm
not.
sending you a
But that's the reason
four-page
why
letter.
you work on that relationship daily.
I agree with that. You work on that, but I'm just saying, like, the progression has to come somewhere. Like, that person
Exactly.
needs to know the words of affirmation, whether that's your love language or not. That person needs to hear that.
Yeah,
Like,
like
hey,
it
I'm
got to
in
be
this
some
with
type
you.
of progression. Like if you go
Right.
on with the flow
There
and
has
there's no
to be.
progression,
I know, because I don't
like
understand
okay,
these people been together like 7 to 10 years. Like, what? You've been what?
But maybe
Goodbye.
that you gotta. This it depends on the people, though, Cheryl. You can't.
yeah, because some people just don't want to get married, and they're
It
that's their
depends on the
preference.
people and what they want.
And maybe that's the conversation that they've had, but I'm just saying, like, they've had the conversation, look, we don't want to get married. And I could understand that, but I'm just saying, like, I've seen other relationships where at least one of the persons want to get married, and they're still hanging on to this really thin hair, like, just like Donald Trump hair. Stop flipping it over. Just cut it on off. Like, if they're not giving you what you want, just cut it off.
That's
You
I
got
got
that's
two
some
part of
studies
cities.
somewhere.
communication. That's the
Yeah,
thing with communication, though. You have to tell that person, like, that's one of the questions I know I say on the first date is, do you desire marriage? Because I
yeah.
know I desire marriage, and if that person says no, then why entertain that?
Yes, yes. That's a dating relationship breaker right there. That's a deal breaker. If you're not even, it's just like at work. You want a promotion eventually. Like, you're not gonna continue to work there if you don't have a promotion in sight. Like, value me. I want that promotion. If I'm not going to get that promotion, then I'm gone.
How y'all feel about sex before marriage? I know myself previously.
Why are you laughing, Cheryl?
I was okay with it previously. We adults.
Yeah. I've never
So
been married and I have 2 kids, so
I know I've never been married and I have 3. So that lets you know
hey.
that's what I did in the past.
I
But
know,
at
I
this
know, I
stage of
know
my
what the
life, no.
I know what the Bible says about it, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that before you make a commitment to marriage, you need to know who you're dealing with. And
Absolutely.
if you make that type of commitment before you uh, experience that, that's on you. But
Mm-hmm.
as for me personally, I couldn't do it because I just know the dynamics of marriage.
Yeah.
And the dynamics of marriage is you need to know, you need to know how willing this person is to how can I say satisfy you. You don't want to be with nobody who is, you know, they don't have
No desire.
no desires. I mean, you don't want. Who wants to be with that? Who wants to, especially if you are a giving person. Like I know I'm a very giving person myself. I couldn't do it. I couldn't, knowing what I know about marriage now, I couldn't do it. You know.
Well, the thing
But
is with me is
I'm saying that right now. Maybe later on, maybe I could do it. But right now, nah, I couldn't do it right now. But I always try to say never. When you say you ain't gonna never do something, life always has a way of turning things around and
yeah.
making you eat every last letter of the sentence that you let come out of your mouth.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say I would not, but I know because of previous experience, that's my preference. Because us women, we're emotional, and when we take that next step, our emotions really get deeply involved. So
Yeah.
if I were, we all sin and come short. If I was to have sex before marriage, it wouldn't be, I mean, that relationship, I have to know that I'm really want to spend the rest of my life with this person, with this man.
I got a question for you. How important is intimacy in your relationships? Both of you.
It's very important. It's important to me because I know my
Stop
sex
smiling,
drive.
Cheryl.
I know it is important to me, but
I'm smiling
it's
because
something.
I think he might have missed the conversation when, your love language is physical touch.
Physical touch. That'll give you a clue that, okay.
Yeah.
What about you? You ain't
Yeah.
answer no question. You talking about me avoiding questions.
Oh no, it wasn't. The question wasn't said, Cheryl, what do you? So,
I said both of
yeah,
you.
I
How
definitely, yeah.
important is intimacy in your relationship?
How
Oh
important
yeah,
is
it's very important. I think it's
Okay.
very important. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because if I'm definitely not fit to marry somebody, and I can't get along with them in the bedroom. That's just yeah, that's not gonna work. So
But then again, I have the mindset of, if that person, if God allowed us to be together, I know God is gonna have that right person for me. Even if I don't have sex before marriage, I just feel like everything is gonna be right
yeah,
because I've honored God throughout the relationship. So I just feel like it's gonna be right, especially if it's of God.
He knows
yeah,
what you want and what you need.
I
yeah,
know. That's why I feel like, I know a lot of people say if you got to try it before you buy it and this and that. And yes, I understand that. I don't want to be disappointed after, I married a person, but I just feel in my heart that God is going to give me that right person and it's going to be good all the way around, emotionally, physically, sexually, all that.
That balance.
I think so too. But if you hadn't asked God for really the specific things, and then you
Oh,
marry
I
this
was
person,
specific when
don't
I
call
asked.
me talking about somebody planked again, okay?
That
I
sounds
was
like some
specific.
that sounds like some previous conversations that have been going on.
Oh, she know.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Hey,
have
trust
to
me,
have
I
to
got
talk.
6 brothers, so I know what y'all talking about. Y'all been having them discussions, and I understand. I
Yeah.
mean, but
What do men talk when y'all get together? Do y'all talk about women at all? Like,
of course, of
You
okay.
course,
know they do.
just like y'all talk about us, y'all don't talk about
Hey,
us.
definitely
Yeah,
do.
we do. We have the conversations.
I
Yeah.
can tell how much you laughing, Cheryl. You be talking.
Yes. Yes. Got to have a conversation. It's some stuff that I do not talk about because sometimes it'd be like, yeah, I don't think I can have these conversations with my sister and my mother. But this girl right here, she be having them. Yeah.
We grown. Like,
We grown,
I got gray hair.
but you gotta reach a level of maturity. I mean, we all are mature, so
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
guess.
think the more conversation, why are we even having a podcast? The more conversations you have,
Oh yeah.
the more insight you have, the better
Exactly.
decisions you can make when it
True.
comes to whatever.
And communicate
So,
with that person. Like, okay, honey, I want it this way. I want it that way. I like it like this. How's that person gonna know how you like it
mhm,
unless you communicate that?
Yeah.
true.
I mean, let's just be real.
Have the conversation. Life
Real,
conversation.
real life conversation. Y'all have anything to add? Like any words of wisdom for the singles out there dating in 2023?
How can we have word on it when we still dating? Like,
Well, I let me give my
We're
little
singles. We can relate to singles, other singles.
let me put it. Actions always speak louder than words, and I found that dealing with members of the opposite sex, you can say what you want to say, but you better be doing what you got to do
Back
before
it
you
up.
ever even let it come out your mouth. Because women watch what you do. They don't always listen to what you say, but they watch what you do. And men should do the same thing. We should be watching what y'all do also,
mm-hmm.
because that's the difference. You can
Yep.
always tell where a person's heart is by what they do.
I could tell by what they say too.
Don't listen to that. Watch
Yeah.
them actions. Watch them
Actions too.
actions.
Actions speak, but words do too.
Yeah. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Yep.
Well,
Cheryl is
so
well, you hardcore.
shameless plug, y'all. I'm 48. I'm single, available. I'm on Facebook, Amy Davis,
Dr. Amy Davis.
Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Y'all want to give y'all information while we on here? If some singles watching this and they want to contact you,
I'm
Hey, great
Reginald.
idea.
Huh? What'd you
I
say?
said, great idea.
I'm Reginald McGarr on Facebook. You can see me. I don't have anything to hide. You know,
I'll look you up.
don't do that.
Cheryl, you want to give your information? Somebody
No.
single is watching this. They may want to hit you up.
Cheryl
DM you.
Davis. That's it.
You're on Facebook?
Yes.
All right. Well, another episode, Live Conversations with Dr. Amy. Thank y'all, my guests,
Woo-hoo.
Reginald and Cheryl. I appreciate y'all taking time to discuss this. This is a real conversation.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was
Good.
nice.
I enjoyed it too. Dating it to date or not to date. I'm
I
gonna
don't know if I
continue.
added any nuggets in there, but I hope I
You
did.
did. That was good. I'm
Yeah,
glad
you
we had
did.
a man on here to give his insight. I appreciate it. God bless
Okay.
you. All right. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Thank you
You
for
too.
inviting me.
You're welcome.
Bye, Cheryl.